we've been, I don't want to say light, but I was mentioning it before the show. I've had to put off some of my spring practice stories because football recruiting news. It's happening left and right. They've gotten 3 commitments in the last week, and it was all highlighted by Sunday's news that Jake Nawrot, the number 2 quarterback in the 2027 recruiting class, has committed to Kentucky. It was a bit out of left field. We talked for a while that things seemed like Andre Adams from Nashville, Tennessee was the most likely candidate to commit, but there might be a dark horse. You know, a guy, one of these top 5 guys, top 10 guys that are the cream of the crop. They might have a shot at if they're willing to pull the coup off. And sure enough, they pulled it off. They got Narat on the board. Luckett, what did you think when you heard the news?
But yeah, I was with you. They were kind of like hovering in their recruitment. But I always, my read of the Narat thing was like, I just don't know if he's not, just at the end of the day, if he's not going to go to Iowa. Like, that's where I stood on that. But for those listeners, you remember a few episodes ago, I said, like, I feel like I have a pretty good sense and feel about a lot of these recruiting developments. This one, if the quarterback stuff felt weird the entire time. It was just really hard to get a read on. And that's even back in the portal. Like, yeah, they were just really hard to get a read on. So these are the 2 commitments they got really kind of came out of left field at quarterback with Kenny Minchie, obviously, and then Jake Nawrot. Like, both of them kind of a little out left field. Nawrot, there was more smoke there, but for them, I think this was a big deal because I think it was clear the entire time, like, they liked Adams, but they had guys that were higher on the board. And what I brought up a few weeks ago was like, I just don't know what the board is. I know there's like 5 guys they're in on. I just don't know where these guys slot for them and like how they're tiering them. Or is some above the others or some in a group together? It was hard to get a feel on. But what you should do at KS Board, what I'm doing this year, different than we've had film rooms in the past, but I'm mixing up this year. I'm just writing a scouting kind of breakdown of all these players as they come in. And we're doing them kind of in bunches together. Our second one dropped this week after the Narat commitment. And to me, Nick, like we've got the tape here showing right here. If you're not watching on YouTube, I highly suggest going back and watching it. Charles Power gave him a Drake May comp, which I don't think is bad comp at all. You see some of the playmaking and just throwing it up, open down there somewhere. But he's kind of a like kids are growing up watching Josh Allen now.
Yeah.
Play like him. There's a lot of like Josh Allen-esque stuff on this tape. Right here is a boot to the right hash mark. Throw it all the way back towards the left hash mark.
There's some in stride.
There's scrambles where he's throwing behind him. There's the ball skills. There's using him as a runner in the red zone. There's some like Josh Allen type stuff to me on this tape. And so to me, I'm not, Josh Allen's a freak, obviously, but Narat does some stuff that I think you really like as a quarterback. He was a late bloomer. He didn't start till he was a junior. He's a basketball kind of first athlete, I believe, growing up.
Yeah, he didn't tackle football until 8th grade.
His first time as a starter, 3,078 yards, 71.1% completion rate, which you know is a big kind of box for Stein. He said as much.
1 interception.
Led Illinois with 41 touchdown passes. Led the state with 41 TDs. Also 8 rushing touchdowns. He's an Elite 11 finalist. Late bloomer, checks multiple boxes as a prospect. Nawrot throws with touch and accuracy along with plenty of arm power both on and off platform on a big athletic frame. There's room to add strength to that frame. This quarterback has tight, clean mechanics in the pocket, giving him a high ceiling as an RPO passer, in my opinion, due to the ball handling and quick release. Playmaking is impressive and jumps off the screen. Nawrot can extend plays, avoid pressure, and create throws thanks to his feel, accuracy, and athleticism. Projects to be a strong fit for Stein's hybrid pro-style offense that will include play-action fakes, RPOs, heavy screen diet, and volume vertical shots. He's good at all of these and might just be scratching the surface of his potential. And what I want people to understand, because I think there's a lot of people confused, how is he rated this high? And how am I not seeing Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia, Alabama, USC, all these big deal schools when it's in quarterback recruiting. Main reason for that is because he was a late riser. He was not – I don't believe he was ranked, Nick, in January.
No, he was unranked in January. And
so he was just – all these other schools had their guys at that point where he was kind of a late riser, and you see this a lot of times. Drew Allar was like this when he came out.
Nick. Yeah.
He was a late riser like this.
William
and he
tried
ended
to
up
get
being
him.
one of the more higher-ranked recruits. This happens sometimes with guys that don't start until their junior year of high school, who maybe wasn't doing the camps, and a lot of this is because they're multi-sport players that kind of gotten a late start, and this is kind of who Narat is. He just totally exploded on the scene, and he's going to have a chance. Like, he's going to go to Elite 11, and if he performs well at Elite 11, he's got a really good chance to be the number one quarterback in the country in this class.
The way that Charles Powell wrote it, he's our lead analyst and evaluator. He consistently made the most challenging throws of any quarterback in this class. And speaking of the rankings, because there is some confusion there. ESPN just updated their rankings for the first time this morning. So when we were describing him as the number 2 quarterback in the class, that was the Rivals ranking. Now, the rankings have since been updated. He was like 120s overall for ESPN. When you do the industry ranking and you aggregate and combine everything together, number 5 quarterback, 60 overall. And, obviously, as you said, those are subject to change again when we have some more updates. But this guy's a bona fide baller, and I'm glad you really emphasized the part that he's still early in this process of development where, hell, he took his team to the Elite 8 in basketball. That only happened 3 times in school history. Hadn't happened since 95. He's dunking on guys. And this is like a 6'4", 6'5" guy who moves very well, is a great athlete that just is kind of late on the scene and waited his time. They had, I believe the guy was at UCLA. He's a UCLA quarterback who was starting in front of him. And then he gets his junior year and is just outstanding. And his future is bright. I doubt there are many listeners to this show who are of this belief. But, maybe there are a few casuals out there who are like, well, they just got Ponatoski. Why are they getting another one? You have to get a quarterback in every class. The better they are, the better they are. Like, if he beats out Ponatoski because he's better, so be it. If Ponatoski is better than him and Narat can't play and he ends up transferring, so be it. Like, that's how it goes. The quarterback is a very transient position once they get into the college ranks. You want to get the best guys in the high school ranks because when you hit on one and you got him for a while, that's huge for your program. And now Kentucky finally has a recruiting operation that can attract top talent at the quarterback position, and Narat is definitely one of those players.
Yeah, a lot of confidence in his arm. Part of the reason I brought up the Allen comp was this is known in NFL circles. When Allen breaks the pocket and rolls right, you're toast. Like, he's either running for a first down or he's not afraid to sling it behind him. He can throw it over your head. Like, the number one thing when you play Josh Allen, do not let him break right. If he breaks right, we are absolutely toast because they're getting at least a first down. Mm-hmm. When Nawrot broke right on his tape, it was a scoreboard changing plays. It was either him extending a drive, converting a first down, or not being afraid to throw it like behind him, or throwing it deep over the top. So that stuck out to me. Like, obviously he can make plays in the pocket, and I thought he had a good feel for pocket movement and being able to throw it down the field, and also being able to throw it into some tight intermediate windows with loft and accuracy, different types of throws. But it was when he was on the run too, he's got the athleticism to do some things, and it's when he breaks the pocket. It's not just he's running it. He can make a different assortment of throws, plus having the athleticism, in my opinion, to run it and extend the drive, extend the downs, give you a fresh set of downs. So there's a lot to like about him. And he'll be interesting to watch because was that just a baseline? How much better can he get this year? And then Elite 11, I think he's going to be one of the more intriguing players that people are going to watch, similar to Ponatoski last year, because hasn't really done the camp stuff.
Yeah.
He's kind of new a little bit, not necessarily new to football, but, it's his first time being a starter. So what does he look like when compared in person to all these other guys? And that's going to be something I think later this summer to really pay close attention to. For the second year in a row, we're going to have a Kentucky quarterback really probably generating a lot of buzz one way or the other at that Elite 11, which is kind of the quarterback camp in the summer. So things are different, right? It's a different time.
The other part of this too, we'll get to sort of the ramifications of it in the here and now, but this has potential to be the most fun recruiting story in a very long time. Go back to the 2020 Heisman Trophy ceremony, and the guy sitting there who watches his wide receiver win it was the same guy who wore a construction hat in front of the Joe Kraft football training facility and said, we're going to build something special. Jake Narot's picture with the Lamar Heisman Trophy, it's probably going to go down as like an all-time photo. And, boy, if that, like,
you're going to go there, aren't you? You're going to go there. You're going to say, what if you win that?
Am I dreaming big? Am I dreaming too big? But how? Like,
you're going to go there. KSR's flying to you to New York, and you're going to talk about, you're going to show both pictures. And,
and he's going to bring one home. But it's just, especially if you go back to that day when, we're running the site and he's sharing pictures from it, and I'm looking, I'm like, is that a Heisman Trophy? Like, what is it? I mean, that became. I'm at St. Patrick's Day parade later that afternoon, and people are blowing up my phone afterwards. Louisville fans are losing their mind over it. Like, this could be one of the that picture. The fact that it gets to live on in Big Blue Nation, not just as a one-off from a one day, but is something that will be talked about if this kid's starting a Governor's Cup game, right? Like that will be a thing, and I love it so much. I love it so much that this picture, that recruiting pictures don't move the needle. This one is going to live in UK lore for a very long time.
Yeah, it was a kid where I think I said to you at the time, I just don't even know, like, I don't even think that's the kid they're going to get. Like, I thought at that point, but they ended up being able to get him. Yeah, that's going to be a thing, obviously. But we're not going to be suffering for storylines when those games come up. I have a feeling.
No, not at all.
There's going to be 8 trillion. I don't know if we're going to have time to discuss them all, not them all. We might have to start writing them now, so we got them locked and loaded.
Exactly.
Arrive.